Hello and welcome to another Baggie Brothers video. Today we're talking Best 11 where we speak to ex-players and content creators about their all-time Albion squad. And today we are joined once again by Paul Robinson. Paul, how's things?
All good, thank you, fellas. All good.
Nice. So we've just had a bit of a chat off cam, but yeah, been a tricky one, right?
Yeah, very tricky.
Yeah, don't envy you.
You're gonna upset a few people, I reckon.
Oh, I always upset a few people. There's nothing there different there, is there?
What's the formation you've picked?
Oh, so you're gonna like this one.
Ooh.
I've gone 4-1-3-2.
Ooh.
So you could say it could be a diamond, but I've just gone that all-out attack because I like my teams being attacking.
Yeah, good, nice, strong at the front, strong at the back, dealing with all the issues.
Yeah, well, they've got to be strong at the back. Flip me, if we're all open, we're in trouble, fellas. We're in trouble.
Let's go on then. Let's have a look at this keeper. Out of all the keepers you played with, who you putting in goal?
So I've gone Dean Kiley in goal.
Nice.
Good old Dino, the Irish wizard. Great guy. Loved him to pieces when he signed for West Brom. I think he took us to that next level of a goalkeeper where he was good with his feet and he was a fantastic shot stopper. So yeah, Dean Kiley for me was my and it was tough. It was tough, especially with Holty and that there as well. But yeah, Dean just nicked it for me.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So much experience, hasn't he? As well.
Yeah, they both did, to be fair to them. I mean, they had great experience, but Dean, like you say, he just brought that extra little bit of football into your team with the footwork. With Holty was just renowned for his shot stopping, and he was excellent at that. But not the most comfortable with a ball at his feet. So yeah, with Dino, obviously we took our levels as a team to the next level with him in goal. Really, I thought.
Yeah.
What was he like to have as a goalkeeper behind you? Was he commanding of the defence?
Yeah, he was a leader. He was a real leader, and you could see why he played at the top level for so long and played for his country. Yeah, fantastic vocally and always organising you from behind, which is great for a defender. It was great to have him behind you because you knew where you needed to be and the decisions that were being made were very clear to us.
Yeah, it's off to a strong start. I'm happy with this one so far.
Mm-hmm.
So back four, should we start? Well, let's start at left back. Have you picked yourself?
No, I'm not going to go myself. No, I'm not going to go myself, but I'm going to go with an outstanding left back in Neil Clement.
Of course.
I don't think a lot of people are going to argue with that. Obviously, they probably think, why didn't you pick yourself? Because when you pick your best 11s, I just don't think it's right to pick yourself. It's the players that I've played with. And Neil, for me, he was my competition when I first signed for West Brom. And we had a great bond off the pitch as well with our families. And he made me settle really, really well in the area and at the football club. So, yeah, for me, he was an outstanding left back with great qualities, not only going forward, but could score really important goals. And he didn't mess around in defence as well. He could defend, which was the all-round game with me for him.
Yeah, some of those free kicks were outstanding, weren't they?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he had some left foot and my gosh, I played with some players who had great left feet and Clem was definitely one of those who was up there. Who's
going to be in the centre-backs then? Who have you got as your pair?
So as a pair, I've gone with, on the left, Jonas Olsen, and on the right, Curtis Davis. So that's my centre-half pairing. Bit different, totally different players. Obviously, Curtis, the athleticism, Jonas, the football player, very comfortable on the ball, can drive out with it, and as well as Curtis, the same. Both love to defend. So I loved working with them both just because of the fact is that not only did they want to be ball players, but they also wanted to be defenders, which was great. But yeah, I just thought they both worked well. It'd be nice to see them two actually play together in the team. But for me, I sort of saw that partnership as a real solid partnership, just complement each other perfectly with the way that they play their games.
Because we had Curtis at such a young age, didn't we, as well? He was proper youth coming in and he was just like, you could just tell, couldn't you, that he was going to be that next level.
Yeah, I mean, with Curtis, obviously you could see that he had the potential to move on again with the qualities. Yes, he was young and Tony liked that in a player. Tony liked to buy players that really wasn't, you sort of looked at it and you thought, really, are we signing him? Whereas Tony was always thinking outside the box in the type of player he was signing. And yeah, I mean, Curtis was an outstanding defender. He covered the ground, could use both feet, was excellent in the air, defended, 1v1 situations brilliantly. So you could see why, like you say, the career that he's had and where he's moved on to, and he's still playing net. Well, obviously he's out injured at the moment, but yeah, he's had a real fantastic career, longevity, and yeah, I mean, great buy for West Brom.
Yeah, definitely. Solid pairing, especially with someone like Olsen in there. I think Olsen's one of those ones that when we've asked fans, his name crops up quite a lot as well, and you can obviously understand why. He was a fantastic defender.
Yeah, he was a leader as well, wasn't he, Jonas? He was very vocal. He would let you know if you were wrong as well, which was great. Which we always wanted when we was at West Brom, was we wanted each other to tell each other if we weren't happy with certain things, to get it off our chest. And Jonas, obviously coming from a different country, and he had to understand pretty quickly, and he did. He settled in really well, and the lads loved him. His mentality, the way that he trained, is the way that he played. My type of guy, because that was the philosophy I had, was the way I trained, was the way I played as well. Yeah, for me, like, it's a great balance. The left foot as well and the right foot, really, they complement each other really well, and I just wanted that balance in my team.
Oh, nice. So let's finish off this back four then. Who's at right back?
I don't think a lot of people are going to be too impressed with this one, but I've gone Cole Hopkins.
Oh, okay.
That's a big shout. No, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, because Cole, obviously, not a lot of people would have really appreciated the job that Cole did when he came in from Stoke. I mean, for us, he was a great signing. Very energetic, comfortable on the ball, could score up with the important goals when he needed to. But again, another defender that wanted to defend 1v1, was very good at it, and very assured in again, another leader, was not afraid to tell someone what he felt. And again, with that back four, I just find it's very solid and very well balanced. So yeah, with Cole and his energy up and down the right, and the qualities that he provided from crosses into the box, yeah, for me, he played an important role for West Brom in the time that I was there.
Yeah, absolutely. We were lucky enough to speak to him a couple of weeks back, and he was talking about how it was, getting to play with the likes of yourself and stuff. I think you made his team as well, so he'll be pleased to know you both in each of the squads.
Yeah, that's it.
Nice. Okay, so midfield. So we've got sort of that holding defensive midfielder first.
We have. Yeah, we have.
Who've gone for there?
Again, we've gone for my mate Jonathan Greenham. So sitting in there, using the quality that we know that he all had, both feet with him, and I mean his vision, his dictating play in midfield there. He was the leader of us all, really, with the way that he commanded things from us as a team, but only on himself as well, with his performances and how he wanted to perform. So, and he popped up with the odd goal every now and then, didn't he? The old wonder goal, yes. Jigsaw. We all used to call him Jigsaw because he'd only score goals that were outside the box, because if he got in the box, he'd fall apart. So yeah, for me, Jono's the perfect sitting midfield player to have in the team, just because he's the conductor and he controlled everything that the team around him.
He also looked as well, I've said it on previous episodes, he always looked like he had like 2 seconds more than everybody else on the ball, didn't he? He always seemed to find that little bit of time. Yeah,
and you see why he's been at Man United, he's been at Middlesbrough, he's played at them teams, and he's won loads of stuff, and he could always see the picture before anyone else on a football pitch, and that was Jono. He understood the game. He knew where players would be on the football pitch, and he would find them no matter what. And yeah, midfield players couldn't cope with him just because he had that little bit of a split second ahead of them of the way he was thinking as a football player.
Yeah, real coup of a signing for us, getting someone like that. Yeah.
Was he 2.5 million as well, wasn't it? It was a snip, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, nothing considering.
Yeah.
Who's sitting just in front of them in these? Is it 3 you've got? Sorry,
3. So I've gone for a solid 3 just in front, but very creative. So I've gone Zoltan on the right.
Nice.
I've gone Robert Corran just in front, and then I've gone Jason Kumas on the left.
Nice.
So tough again, because you got people like Brunty and Mozza. But obviously, we'll start with Kumi, because obviously I played with Kumi in front when I played at left back. Kumi was the left midfield player. What an outstanding player. I mean, for me, he should have played at a top 5 club. He had everything, both feet, quick, direct, low sense of gravity where players couldn't get the ball off him. Individually, he was just brilliant. at beating people. He's the best I've probably seen at the way that he would destroy defenders 1v1. And just an all-round talented player in my eyes of, up there with one of the greatest that have probably played for West Brom in the recognition that he probably doesn't really get because of the other players that have been there and done so much over the years. But Kumi was definitely one of those who was up there with the greats.
Yeah, some of the goals he scored as well. Just ridiculous, weren't they?
Yeah, he won a game by himself. That's how good he was. And we knew that as well. We knew that we weren't going to get the defending side out of him just because we understood that we give him the ball, he's going to create havoc in the opposition's half, and he would win games like by himself just because of how good he was.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a chat about Corin then. Why does Corin make the squad?
Just for me, Rocco, I thought was very underrated. I mean, we didn't really know too much about him. We used to think he was out of Lord of the Rings with his nice little long curly hair. Him and Jono were separated at birth. But he was outstanding, Rocco. I mean, talking about goal scoring midfield players, Rocco was up there with timings of runs, scoring important goals. Again, bow-footed, right and left foot. His energy levels are ridiculous. I mean, he used to complete runs that none of the other lads could do. He was just full of energy and would never stop until obviously you said, Rocco, enough's enough now. You got to stop. But he would have kept going if he wanted to. He could keep going. And I loved him. His mentality as well. He was a real strong character. He had a real positive mindset and was focused on what his roles were for the football club and off the pitch as well. He was a pure gentleman. Him and his family were lovely to be around. So fantastic time sharing them moments with him as a football player.
Yeah. And what about Zoltan? What can you say about Zoltan?
Yeah, so the little Muppet, Zoltan Gira. I mean, what can we say about the guy? I mean, unbelievable goal scoring record from a player who was described as just a right winger. For us, he was the magician, just because he would pull things out of the hat like no one else would see. Just the tricks, his mobility. I mean, I always thought he was double jointed with how his legs and that popped out of different positions just to control the football. Again, scored so many important goals for us, and he was a big loss. And I think we suffered when we lost him the year we got promoted to the Premier League. I thought him and another certain player were a massive loss to the club at the time. And we just missed out on that goal scoring creative midfield player, but a player that can unlock certain defenses at the right times in games. And Zoltan was definitely one of them magicians that could do that.
Best celebration as well.
Unbelievable celebration. That's what I mean. Double jointed. He's got his limbs controlling the ball, and then he's doing double Ganchev flips, thinking, what is going on here? What are we signed here? We signed a gymnast, not a football player.
Nice. Okay. Strikers. Who's the pair we've got up front then?
Now, this was the toughest.
That's one name I'm definitely expecting.
This was seriously the toughest one out of the lot. I mean, the midfield was, you could argue, we've got the good balance there, but up front, I mean, I've been lucky enough to play with some good strikers at West Brom, but obviously Super Kev Phillips is up there, and then I'm going to go for the king, Kevin Campbell.
Nice.
So Kevin Campbell, the leader, the guy. I'll start with Kev first, Kevin Campbell, because I just felt he was massive in the Great Escape when he come into the club. No, everyone knew what he was all about because of the qualities that he would bring to the team, but no one really expected the leadership that he would bring and drive it all out of every single one of us as well, individually as people, but also off the pitch, understanding ourselves better as human beings. And Kev was one of those people that just brought a spark to everyone. I mean, he scored some great goals for us. In the Great Escape, but off the field, he just brought everyone together, and that's what we needed. We needed someone who was prepared to come in, drag the group together, get us out of the sticky situation we was in, forget about all the negativity that was going on around, and he just wanted us to be positive and stay connected with each other and get the job done and see it through to the end of the season. So for me, Kevin Campbell was definitely that leader that we needed at the time, and I thoroughly, as a player, I developed working alongside him as well as a player.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. And what can you say about the second strike partner?
Well, goals, absolute goals from anywhere, any foot. any type of header. He had everything, didn't he? I mean, Super Kev was prolific as what all the strikers are. But again, someone for me that should have got more England caps. But
yeah,
he was competing against some of the all-time great strikers in Shearer, Sheringham, Andy Cole, Dwight York. I mean, not Dwight York. I'm talking about Andy Cole,
Owen.
Owen, yeah, who came through at a young age, and it was just so hard to get into that England team. But Kev deserved it. He deserved to get more caps just because of what he did himself individually. I mean, pure brilliance in training. I've never seen anyone better than him in finishing. The way that he made goalkeepers look, he embarrassed some goalkeepers where they would walk in from training just because they didn't want to go in goal anymore because they were just getting embarrassed by him. And he brought that ruthlessness to the games. I mean, him and Zoltan alone got us promoted from that championship season, 2008, 2009, to get back to the Premier League just by themselves with the 40-odd goals that they scored. Insane. And again, disappointing that he had to leave for all the wrong reasons. And I felt that if we'd have kept them both, then we would have had a great chance of surviving in the Premier League. But it's hard to replace them type of people, especially not only the players, but the characters off the field as well. It was very hard to replace them. So yeah, for me, Kev was up there with the world's best strikers in what I work with, definitely.
Yeah, I was about to say to you, I presumed it was him that you were going to go on about and say that we should have tried to keep when we went up, because even if you got him there in the background, like Kevin Campbell was, like you just mentioned, he'd have brought that experience for us, wouldn't he?
Of course he would have. And yes, I know that certain owners look for the age and they think it's becoming a problem, but you got to look at the bigger picture. What do they bring to the youth? What do they bring to the rest of the team? What do the fans expect? Well, if they know that he's not going to play many games, then they're actually looking at the bench knowing that, hold on a minute, let's get Kev on. He's going to score a goal here. So you have to keep them players in and around the squad to no matter how old they are, just because their experience is vital, no matter what. So yeah, it was disappointing. It was very disappointing that they didn't give Kev the 2 years that he wanted. But it's football, unfortunately, and we see it where good players move on and they go on to other clubs, and Kev won another couple of promotions at other clubs that he went to. So
yeah, he did, yeah.
It was just a shame the way it ended. But again, he finished on a great note because he was one of the main guys who got us promoted back to the Premier League.
Yeah, that's a solid team. I'm really pleased with that. It's a nice varied team. You get like a lot of very common names popping up, like you say, people like Brunt and Mozza and whatnot. But it's nice to have a strong, varied team as well with some of the best players we've had.
Yeah, no, it was tough though, lads. I mean, I think I wrote it out 3 times because like you say, you could have had Brunty in there, you could have Mozza in there. I could have had Martin Ulbrichtson in at right back as well.
Yeah,
who was fantastic for us. Holty in goal again was another challenge between Holty and Dino, and then up front you could have had Jeff Horsfield and Roman Bednar as well, who scored important goals for us.
Yeah.
Kieran Richardson could have been in there, but I just felt that he was only really there for the loan period. Whereas over the years, the players that I played with, obviously I'd got to know them longer, and the quality and the characters that they were. Yeah, I mean, even Richard Chaplow just missed out because he was an underrated player who brought a lot to the team in his time at West Brom as well. So yeah, there was some real good players at the football club.
Yeah,
you'll probably make a whole second B team of all the players that didn't quite make it.
Yeah, exactly. But I was just thinking of pre-season, right? You first 11 are going to play, and then the second 11's coming on for the second half.
Yeah. No, nice, excellent. Cheers for coming on, Paul, and giving us a best 11. It's a great looking team.
No worries, fellas.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you've made it this far, please click like and subscribe because those things help us out. And we will see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.